All your favorite wrestling shows rolled into one. Welcome to the We Book It podcast. Let's start the show.
Yo, what's up, We Book It fam? This is your boy Big Daddy C coming at you with another episode of the Raw Dogg Monday show, recapping all things related to Monday Night Raw. Kicking off the show from Baltimore, they had a video package recapping the events of SmackDown from last week. Jey Uso's victory in the King of the Ring tournament. Bloodline came out there. Roman Reigns was, talking about how life is good. Got a lot to be thankful for. Talked about Jey Uso winning his match last week. Basically demanding the fans to acknowledge Jey Uso. He said that the Bloodline wouldn't be anything without Jimmy. He demanded the fans to acknowledge him as well. But Jey snatched the mic, basically thanked Roman, and then talked about how Fatu needed to acknowledge them all. Jacob Fatu was like, nah, fuck all that. I ain't acknowledging nobody but the OTC. Roman Reigns took a nod of approval with that. And so eventually he told Fatu that he hears whispers from others, basically talking about he's an outsider and all that stuff, but he said the Bloodline is back to take over the business again. But realistically, they've been dominating since the Wild Samoans in the territory days. He also named dropped Rikishi Umaga before presenting Fatu with his own Ulafala. As they were exiting the ring, going up the ramp, they all were pretty much engaging with Eric Andre. Eric Andre was trying to engage with Jey Uso. Jey Uso was like, nah, fuck all that, but he was able to get a dap from Roman and Jimmy. But once he got to Jacob, he tapped Jacob on the back. Jacob stopped, and then Eric Andre made matters worse by touching the Ulafala, and he got his ass beat by Jacob in the ring. All the security and GMs and all this shit came out there to try to stop him. Even Roman's like, hold, stop Jacob. And then he realized, like, oh, he touched the Ulafala, kick his ass. And so Jacob hit him with the splash. They try to leave the ring. Roman's like, go ahead, get him with another one. Jacob hit him with another splash. That's how that segment ended. The Queen of the Ring semifinal, Io Sky versus Raquel Rodriguez. This match was pretty solid. Raquel pretty much held on. It was back and forth, a lot of speed and size and agility pretty much exhibited in this match. Ultimately, Io Sky will reign supreme and take down Raquel to move on to the finals of the Queen of the Ring tournament. Next up, we had a segment with Liv Morgan asking Danhausen to curse Obafemi against his match against Dom in the King of the Ring semifinals. But Danhausen's like, I'm gonna need some monies, and basically had a list of demands that he wanted from Liv, and Liv was like, nah, forget it. And that's pretty much how that segment ended. We had a pre-tape promo with Seth Rollins challenging Braun Breaker to a steel cage match at Night of Champions. Next up, we had our match with Chad Gable going against Rusev. Basically, on his way to the ring, he ran into Maxine Dupree, who was talking with Austin Theory. And we know they've been talking to each other for several weeks now, so we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, during this match, it was pretty good. Gable held his own, Rusev held his own, a lot of reversals, a lot of submission holds. But yeah, ultimately, Gable will reign supreme with the ankle lock on Rusev, made him tap out after the match. You had Rusev and Paige attacking Gable. But Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee hit the ring to make the save. After the match, we had a backstage segment with Roman, reiterating the importance of not having any fighting within the bloodline, especially as the rest of the locker room plans to come for them. He asked LA Knight why he's still running his mouth. Jimmy said, I'll go talk to him. We had another pre-tape segment, pre-tape promo. Braun Breaker responding to Seth Rollins' challenge, accepting it in the process. Then we had LA Knight addressing the WWE Universe, basically saying that with or without the crown, with or without the championship, I still run the game. Of course, he went out there and talked about how he made a career out of battling groups, OG Bloodline to the Vision to the Bloodline 2.0, taking exception to Roman Reigns manipulating Jacob Fatu. Before he could say much else, Jimmy Uso came out there and he was like, man, you got to believe me when I tell you Uso is different now. He's trying to convince LA Knight that it's not the same bloodline that he encountered a few years ago. LA Knight wasn't trying to hit none of that shit and saying he would smack Solo Sikoa back to factory settings. This caused Jey Uso to come out there to interrupt the proceedings, grabbing the mic from Jimmy. And he basically looked at LA Knight, told him, let me talk to you, basically mocking his catchphrase. He was like, well, my brother told you it's right. He said he was out there for one reason. He also mentioned that, Solo's on his own. He ain't got nothing to do with us. But he also claimed that he was better than LA Knight, basically mentioning his King of the Ring tournament win from Friday on SmackDown. He's like, what I need your ass to do is acknowledge me. And then LA Knight was like, fine, I acknowledge you. Can kiss my ass. This caused a brawl between LA Knight and Jay. Before conflicted, Jimmy Uso would save his brother with a super kick. Then Jay went out there and grabbed a chair, tried to hit LA Knight. Jimmy stopped him, and then it's caused LA Knight to grab the chair, hit both of them with the chair up until Jacob Fatu came out there to make the save, put the tongue and death grip on LA Knight. Then he left after a few words with his cousins. Backstage, Jacob basically told the Usos that we tried it your way, both y'all ways. That both of the ways was ass. They didn't get the job done, so I did it the OTC way. Back into the arena, we had Charlotte Flair taking on Roxanne Perez. Charlotte pretty much toyed with Roxanne early on, but eventually, she made a misstep, trying to do a chop on her, hit her hand on the ring post. Roxanne took advantage for a little bit. We came back from commercial break. Roxanne continued her attack on Flair's injured hand and arm, attempting an arm bar. Charlotte powered out of it. Charlotte eventually tried another chop, which she did connect, but reiterated the damage to her hand and allowed Roxanne to regain some control. Roxanne was mocking Flair, basically mocking her father's legendary strut, as we know that Ric Flair was known for doing. This caused Charlotte to get fired up, especially with her being one-handed. Liv Morgan was out there, of course, as well as Alexa Bliss, who was there to even up the situation. Liv Morgan did distract Flair, allowing Roxanne to pull her off the top rope. Roxanne did hit a springboard moonsault, which was not enough to put Charlotte down. Alexa will recover and prevent Liv from interfering again. And then she tried to reverse the inside cradle, attempt to steal the win for Charlotte, which she didn't have to do because Charlotte ended up applying the figure eight submission and got the victory over Roxanne. After that, we saw Javon Evans heading to the ring for his promo regarding the King of the Ring tournament. And so just days before he has his match against Jey Uso, he joined Jackie Redmond in the square circle for a promo. And he's like, Jey Uso, I know you got all the experience, but this Friday I'm about to put my belt to your ass. And then here comes Logan Paul, who we all thought was gone for good because he's injured. Made his return. As we all know, he tore his triceps at Saturday night's main event. Logan Paul said he saw a ruthless killer in Javon Evans, and with the right people, they can bring it out of him. He extended his hand to the young OG, formally inviting him to join the Vision. Javon Evans was like, hell no. And then Logan Paul was like, I think I misphrased that, Javon. It wasn't a question. It was a mandate. Javon Evans, you're in the Vision. And then Austin Theory attempted to reiterate Logan Paul's sentiment, but Javon Evans called for a referee, and match with Austin Theory was on the way. we know a lot of back and forth with this match. Austin Theory held his own. Javon did what he had to do. Evans eventually won the match. Let's see here. Yeah, Javon Evans won the match by DQ because he tried to go for the OG cutter, only to get caught with a spear in mid-air by Braun Breaker. So while he's getting jumped, here comes the Street Profits. Montez Ford came out there first, and then he was eventually joined by a returning D'Angelo Dawkins, who was out due to an attack from Division, but they were back. And we know that they're about to get another opportunity at the Tag Team Championships. And so, they made the save on the young OG. And that's pretty much how that segment ended there. So we had another backstage segment with the Bloodline. Roman Reigns asked Jacob if he had taken care of LA Knight. Jacob was like that they did, but the Usos were not too happy about it. Reigns claimed that no one knows no one knows Fatu as he does. He asked Jacob Fatu for one last favor, but he leaned in and whispered in his ear, so we don't know exactly what he wants from Jacob. So we will find it out at a later time, of course. So basically Jacob is looking to gain favor in the Bloodline, and Roman knows he can manipulate the situation further. The issue here is that with Jey Uso, being in this tournament, he's more likely going to try to go out to Cody for the championship. Part of me feels like with Jey being the crash out that he is, and him not being accepting of this whole Jacob Fatu situation, I feel like this might be a situation where Jey might mess around and challenge Roman, try to go out to Roman. And then Bloodline will pretty much be no more. Well, Jey will pretty much be out of the Bloodline. That's my theory. I think we're going to get another Samoan introduced into the Bloodline. Jey will get kicked out because he's going to want to try to get back at Roman for that championship, get that World Heavyweight Championship back. Because I don't see any scenario in which Jey Uso is beating Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship. That shit ain't happening. So I think it will make sense for Jey to just go fully rogue and then take on, try to go back out to Roman, bringing this shit full circle for how this whole Bloodline shit started, the whole Bloodline saga. Jey Uso was the first to have to fall in line. And so, it'd be a nice little callback if they end up having him basically, go against Roman, try to challenge Roman again. So we'll see how that plays out in the coming weeks. Here we are with our main event. We had the King of the Ring semifinal, Obafemi versus Dominic Mysterio. Of course, definitely chance of Oba fill the arena as Oba came out there. Dominic Mysterio tried to do the typical heel shit, running away. He got a little cheap baseball slide in on Oba, but found himself being tossed up and over the commentary table. Of course, JD McDonough would attempt a cheap shot, but Obafemi called his ass too and forced him away from the ringside area. So a lot of shenanigans in this match. Dom Mysterio tried to use the timekeeper's hammer again, but Obafemi shut that shit down real quick. So Obafemi delivered a flurry of running uppercuts to JD and Dominic Mysterio before finishing off Dom Mysterio with the fall from grace powerbomb for the victory. After the match, Oba cut a promo saying one match away, and then the ruler will have his crown. And then he also admitted that he now questions if Brock Lesnar is a man at all. He basically said he called himself the mountain he cannot conquer, the beast slayer. When it is all said and done, I will be king. You will just be the man who ran from Obafemi. And that's how the show got closed out. So pretty solid show this week as we get closer to Night of Champions. And so we got pretty much one more semifinals match for both the Queen of the Ring and the King of the Ring tournaments. We got Charlotte versus Liv. Winner of that match goes on against Io Sky in the finals. And then we got Jey Uso versus Javon Evans. Winner of that match goes against Obafemi in the finals. So we'll see how everything plays out. So yeah, that's pretty much been the show, Raw Dog Monday show. Thanks for always going to be tuning in and watch this episode once it gets uploaded. Big Daddy C signing out. Catch y'all later. Peace.